Good morning, everybody. Another episode of the Keep Going podcast, Athletes Shining a Light on Mental Health, sponsored by Me Too We LLC. Shine your light, baby. I got the shirt on today. I got Geoff, don't call him Schaab, the shabby boy on the call today. Geoff Schaab, what's going on, brother?
Good morning, man. Sunday morning. What's not to like, right? I mean, we're kind of getting after it. So appreciate you having me this morning.
I appreciate you coming on, man. You're definitely a guy, not only in my life, but in the baseball world that people know, people love. People love you not only because you're a good baseball player and a good coach, but just who you are, man. I got to ask you first and foremost, we've had 100+ episodes. Why'd you want to come on this morning?
Sometimes, I often think like, how else more could I make a difference? Or like, I feel like obviously I feel like I make something of a difference in working with NCSA and helping out families there too. But like that audience is strict to them, right?
Right,
And
correct.
here, like, this affords me a really good opportunity, right, to to further connect and maybe and at a bare minimum maybe enlighten someone, right? So maybe I'm doing a little bit for myself, but I like to feel like I'm doing it for a lot of for everyone else too.
Yeah, I think there's a fine line there. I think a lot of times, guys like us, Geoff, we start filling people's cups and we start doing all this stuff. And then sometimes we forget about our own. I think it can be both, impacting yourself and impacting the people around you. I know in your journey, your faith has been a big part of this. Talk about that for our audience. I told myself in 2025, I would bring that in more. Talk about your faith.
One thing I always like to say, and we work with an excellent guy, Colton Palmer, right? Like I
Dog,
say, like,
shout out the
hey,
guy. Yeah, he's been on here. Shout the guy out. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, like it's everyone's journey in their walk with Christ is different, right? Like some are like the speed of like a Ferrari, which is amazing, right? Mine is like this with an ant. It's going like this. It's
Yeah.
doing a figure eight. I'm like, well, that's where he needs me to be. And
Yeah.
for me, and my biggest journey actually goes back to 13, 14 years ago when I was living in Washington D.C. and I was just I was working 60-hour work weeks. I was making good money. I wasn't going to lie about that,
Right.
but I wasn't. I felt like I was missing something, and it was funny. I kept on getting my ear flicked. That's what I felt like. And I turned to Christ, like Fellowship of Christian Athletes, and then that got me back into baseball.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, it was almost like, God was saying, like, hey, I'm gonna get you back involved, but I'm gonna be the vehicle that gets you back involved. But then once you're in the vehicle, I'm gonna let you drive it, but I'm still gonna be right here. And lo and behold, here I am, right? And I still try to meet every Friday morning with our FCA group, right? So um that's that in a nutshell.
I love it, man. I love the vulnerability. I love how it's not perfect because I know in my faith journey, it hasn't been perfect either. It never has had a purpose until about 5 years ago. I was kind of that guy that wore the cross and didn't really know why I was wearing it. So I think it's
Right.
a beautiful testimony and it's beautiful who you are and what you're becoming, man. Talk about the baseball side. When did you get the baseball in your hand? How long has this been a goal to stay in baseball?
Well, if you put it that way, actually, it wasn't a goal of mine until that like 9, 10, 12, 13 years ago. Like I had career jobs in DC, Washington, Virginia. I would play a little bit on those open men's league teams just because I still could, at
Right.
the age of like, 29, 28 years old and what have you. But I I wasn't getting like this great fulfillment. Again, I had a house. I was making good money, but I wasn't getting this fulfillment out of it. And I knew somewhere along the line I needed to make something of a. I felt like I needed to take a career shift. Now, I wasn't I wasn't married. I didn't have any kids. I didn't have any debts. So if there was a time for me to like really do a complete 180, right? In leaving this to take that $30,000 hitting job, right?
Right,
And
right.
because like there was a time to do it and that was it. And I feel like if I didn't do it, certainly I wouldn't be here on this class. I wouldn't be at NCSA, you know. So like it's amazing. Like I took that leap of faith in giving up a lot to essentially take a right, wrong, or indifferently a job that was pretty damn tough. You
Yeah,
know,
no,
you
absolutely.
know,
Yeah, good.
yeah, I knew, you know, and I probably applied to 180 coaching jobs. I mean, you know, that's what college coaches do. And I was probably offered three, and only really one of them was very, very practical, and that's the one I ended up taking. And you know, right, wrong, or indifferently, that didn't work out. You know, I mean, I don't deny that, you know, but it has obviously now propelled me to now a 6-year career at NCSA, right? And then, you know, so and I still have that walk with, you know, in faith by, you know, obviously meeting every Friday when I can, you know, with our FCA group, but then you know, I still work with like local FCA kids here in the county that I live in.
Yeah, I think that's crucial too. That, you know, I don't know, for our audience, and I talked about this last week, it's players, coaches, and parents, right? And to hear you say that you took the pay cut, you took the leap, you embraced the change, you didn't really know at that time if that was going to be your forever perfect job fit. And look at you now, man, in a profession that you love, and you're on the podcast with us today. My question would be this: when you were going through all that change, from a mental health standpoint, how are you keeping everything together, man?
Yeah, I mean, I was moving across country, right? I mean,
Right.
like, you know, that's not something that's not going across the street to go get your milk at the corner, you know? So like there was a lot of moving pieces, you know, just, you know, for my physical health, not my mental health. Like I need to make sure that like I still had a good healthcare plan because I have, you know, a health issue that I need to make sure that that's going to be taken care of. But, you know, and this is probably 10, 12 years ago. And I try to do it every single day. I live in the upper Midwest now, so it does get sometimes really tough, but
Let's go, Buffalo.
there's something to be said for taking a walk. I
Yes.
mean, like I take at least 3 1 mile walks a day.
Yeah.
Just I'm outside. Now, it gets really cold when it's like negative
Yes.
20. You
Yeah.
know, so that's when I'm going to the gym to walk that day. But,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I have found that like just being outside is what clears my head. I'm not usually thinking about work. I'm not usually thinking about, oh man, I got to pay out that medical bill today or whatever. You know, those don't go away, but like in that moment, I become a lot more centered again.
Yeah, I heard this yesterday. It was on an ad. I think it was Better Health. It was an ad about everybody has their thing. Like we're in 2025, everyone goes, okay, if you're struggling, gratitude journal, cold plunge, and take a walk. It's like, no, no, hold on, hold on. Like you need to find what works for you. And a lot of people stop before they get to what works for them. It's trial and error. I mean, myself, Dave, Jackie, we've all tried different things, and I've been like, this is working for everybody else, but doesn't work for me. So I think it's a beautiful thing. Dave, good to see you, brother. I know you're a big guy about getting out in nature. Talk about that in your mental health, dude.
Yeah, absolutely. I think I'm the same way, Jeff. Just for me, getting outside, getting some fresh air, kind of just clears my mind. And for anyone out there listening, like you said, Pete, start with one thing. Um, it's a lot easier to take one step than to take 10 steps. Um, so yeah, just start with one thing. I really like that from
I
you, Pete.
completely, I completely agree, man. And Jeff, I love that you said that's your thing and you've claimed it in your daily life. I think there's a lot of power in that. I do have to
Yeah,
ask
no,
you. Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, go ahead, continue on that.
yeah, you know, I mean, you know, everyone has like elephants. I call them elephants in their life, elephants in their day. Well, how do you eat an elephant? Right? You can't. I mean, I guess you could try and do that, but it ain't gonna work, you know. But like, all right, well, let me take this piece off the elephant. Let me take this one. Let me take this one. Like, and then you get these small little victories here and there. Next thing you know, the elephant is like that. Like, hey, that's victory right there, right? You know, but like the ones that like, and it may be a personality thing, right? That you know, hey, I got to like beat up this elephant right now and just slay it and eat the whole thing. They may actually be able to do it, but like they're a lot more tired afterwards. So like again, it's just attack the elephant is what I say, like one bite at a time, and that thing's gonna shrink, no doubt.
Completely agree, man. And I wanted to ask you, obviously, since I've known you the last 5, 6 years, you've been someone that jumps into meetings and you got the energy, you have the positivity. Has there ever been a time where it hasn't been this way? Like, what's the keep going moment in all this for you, man?
I think I'd be lying if I didn't say like there have been many times where I've just had to like, okay, look, I need to plow through this, okay? And it's not going to be for me. It's going to be for you because I need to give you the energy that I don't have right now. So like I think people would be lying if they said, "Oh, I maintain this type of energy all the time." You are lying, okay? Like it's just it just is, but for me, I know when to say no. No is a very powerful word. Not not like that's like, hey, no, Pat. Like, not I don't mean like that. Like, for me, no is like, sorry, I'm not gonna take that job right now because I know I can't give my best to that person. If I'm not giving them my best, then what am I giving them?
Yes.
And if I'm not giving them my best, I'm certainly not. I'm just gonna be angry, that I actually volunteered to do this. And guys, as a side gig for I actually have a really good side gig. I umpire. That keeps me in the game, right? I say no to 75% of jobs offered to me. Because I'm like, guys, I umpire because I'm out there. It keeps me in the game. I know all the rules. I'd like to think that I do, right? But it's like, no, I'm not going to take that job at 10 o'clock at night for a 9 inning doubleheader. No,
Right.
but yeah, the empowering of no has allowed me to maintain a high degree of energy when I need it.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing too. I like the power of no because we have a lot of people in our worlds, and Dave, we were talking about this a little bit earlier. Like, we have a lot of people in our worlds that we're filling cups and they're filling ours, and it's back and forth. But there's sometimes we just don't have a lot left to give, or you selfishly have to take the okay, this isn't good for me, and that's okay. I think that's just it's tough sometimes. I think it's tough sometimes for sure.
I mean, going back to biblical scripture. I mean, like Jesus out there with his disciples out there in the Sea of Galilee, and he says, "I'm going to take a nap." And
Yeah.
they're like, "What are you talking about, man? Like you've been, kicking butt and taking names." In like I feel like I should know the book of Matthew maybe, but like he said, and he laid there and he rested and took a nap.
Yes.
Probably because he needed a break. So like I think we all could use those. And that was his way of saying no, right? Hey, not today. There'll be no miracles today. Maybe I'll see what I can do tomorrow. But I need to rest right now. Huh. Okay, so it makes sense, right? And kind of worked out for him. So like I think the power of no really holds some weight in my life.
Jeff, I'm loving this, man. I'm gonna kick it over to David Mitchell's mailbag, baby. David's gonna fire some questions at you, Jeff. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah. On this mental health podcast, how has your view on mental health and sports evolved in your coaching career in the last couple of years?
And I would say it probably has evolved more than a couple of years, but I guess I may be the guy to say right, wrong, or indifferently. I probably was the guy when I was like 22, senior in college or in college. I'm like, where, come on, man, what are you talking about? You have some like you're foggy in the brain right now. Like, let's go take some batting practice and call it a day. I was probably that guy. Okay, and where I see where I was able to probably grow in understanding a lot more of like how mental health and sports really correlate the most was actually when I was at FCA in Northern Virginia, and the burnout that I was seeing a lot of like these kids that I was working with, um, like to the point where like they weren't able to give their best on the baseball field. Like, well, coach, I got AP this, I got AP that. I got tree club. I got da 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 da. I'm like, wow, you just filled my schedule and I didn't even do any of it, you know. And so for me, I actually started seeing it in youth at that time. And then when I became a college baseball coach, those kids that I was coaching when I was 16, later on were also 22, not too far down the road. And like for me, I embraced like, hey guys, we're not going to practice today. Today we're just going to sit in the outfield. We're going to shoot the baloney. That's our practice. Now I don't know if it worked, but I felt like that it recharged their batteries a little bit. And I was able to get out of the mindset of like, hey, you just need to plow through this, dude. Like, and that's probably how I was again 21 years ago when, again, right, wrong, or indifferently, mental health in athletics probably wasn't talked about in 1999 to 2002, right? So therefore, what my mentality would be like, you got to plow through. This is probably what a lot of people thought at that time.
Yeah, good pivot there.
Yeah, my next question is, if someone is going through like a hard time or just feeling a little lost or uncertain, in their life right now, what advice would you give them?
There's always help. Like, I mean, now am I like this trained professional? No. I mean, I'm not gonna fake something that I'm not, right? But like I can probably like help you get those tools to get to the right people, and I would like to think that, if one asks for help, and help in anything, like something is going to be able to help them, someone. And but it's there's a two-way street there, right? I mean, like, is it is it's tough because we want to be able to say like, hey, is that guy struggling right now? Like, well, no, dude, I'm not struggling. I'm just hanging out. So you got to make sure you're maintaining boundaries a little bit, right? But like, if someone came up to me, who I would even tangentially know, I feel like I know Dave. Like, hey, Geoff, I need some help. Can you give me out? I may not be able to get to the answers right away, but I would try to get to pointed in the right direction. But it does begin with that initial step of saying, hey, what do you say we talk this out, right? Or that I can get to this information. I can get you in touch with that person. And I think those things actually then go a long way.
Yeah, Dave, I'm going to let you rip your last one here, but I want to chime in on that. Geoff, I think you made a great point. I think sometimes when people realize, oh my goodness, Dave is struggling, Geoff is struggling, what can I do to help him? I don't feel like I can help him. And then all of a sudden you feel that anxiety and that stress, like, now I can't know. Get to the next person. If you can keep getting to the next person, someone's going to be their cup of tea. Someone's going to be that therapist. Someone's going to be that coach, mentor, advisor. Even me, guys, like I feel like doing this for the last 3 years. Some people walk up to me and go, hey, Pat, like, I need some help. I'm like, I'm not the guy right now for you, unfortunately, but let's get you this, this, and this and see if that helps. That was a great sentiment. Go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I feel like we could talk about this for hours. But yeah, for anyone out there, I love that advice. Get help, reach out. There are good people out here
Yeah.
in this world, and people want to help. My last question here is there anything that we missed, or is there anything that you want to say to our audience today about mental health, coaching, anything? The platform's yours.
It's okay to stop. I like it is okay. We play baseball. Baseball is my game. Okay, like, nowadays kids are playing baseball 13, 14 months a year. And notice I said 13, 14 months a year. That doesn't exist. There's still only 12 last time I checked. And it's okay to put your unplug so that you could re-energize. And if we are constantly caught up in your own rat race, guess what? The rat race just goes like this. It's a circle. You're chasing the ball in that circle the entire time. It's okay to stop, regroup, take a vacation. It helps, right? But if you find yourself consistently going a million miles an hour, not only is there going to be some mental potentially issues going on later on, I would be worrying about like you one of those like just keeling over, like is like a heart issue or something. It's okay to stop. I'll say that over and over again if I could.
Geoff Schaab, this has been enlightening, is the word I'm going to use, man. I've known you for a long time. I know the kind of guy you are. I know the man of faith you are. Just thank you for coming on here and spreading the news, man. You were nothing more than yourself, which I knew that's what the case was going to be. David Mitchell, send us home, brother.
Yeah, thank you for coming on here today on your Sunday, giving us some time. I know you've impacted a lot of people, and you're going to impact a lot of people. So thank you for that, and it was great to meet you, Geoff.
I agree. And I'm going
Hey
to say one
guys,
more thing, Geoff. I'm going to say
yep.
one more thing to you. Since we had Brother Bill on here in the first season from good old Buffalo, we have a lot of Buffalo Bills fans. Anything to say to them?
Hey, you're my people. I'm a 716 guy. That's where my entire family still lives there. I'm telling you right now, and I've been saying it ever since I was in the fourth grade when Scott Norwood missed the field goal. We're going to the Super Bowl this year, and we're going to win it.
Yes. Well, let's go Buffalo, baby.
There you go.
Yes.
Maybe I'll go fire up some chicken wings now for breakfast or something. Now you got me going.
I love it, Geoff. Well, thank you, man. Blessings your way. And without a doubt, everybody, have a great rest of your Sunday. Keep going. Thanks, guys.
So much.